All right, obviously very disappointing. Credit to them. They were the more physical team. They made the plays they needed to make, and they beat us pretty convincingly. So hats off to them, and obviously disappointed for our guys.
Question?
Coach, what did they do just to kind of get you guys out of rhythm? It just didn't seem like either side, offense or defense, had the flow that maybe you guys have been playing with the last few weeks.
Yeah, defensively we gave up the one long touchdown. And other than that, they didn't really move the ball against us in the first half. It didn't, felt like that at times. But they had 52 yards passing. They had, aside from that long run, they didn't have many yards rushing. So, but it definitely felt like we were on our heels. Even though, and then obviously in the third quarter, the 4th and 1 defensive holding call was a really, really crucial call. Felt like we had them stopped. Everyone played the play, and but so defensively, I just we were on the field a lot. But offensively, the very first play of the game, we had a missed assignment, just out of whack. Obviously, Rocco going down, and our prayers are up for him. Hopefully, he's okay. They had to take him to the hospital. It sounded like. And then, obviously losing Pritchett. But yeah, I just honestly, Sean, we were just kind of out of whack the whole day. They pressured us. When we had chances to make plays, we ran by them. We didn't, I don't say it's any one thing, right? Just at no point did we make the play you needed to make to win the game. Couldn't, it's 1 for 5 on third down in the first half, and just a really bad effort.
9 sacks is extreme. What's your immediate explanation? How would you size that up?
There's a little bit of everything. The back gets beat by a linebacker, and back missed assignment, not in the flat. The quarterback goes to throw it to him, gets sacked. A couple of them maybe were holding. But just overall, I thought they were the more physical team tonight. Obviously, you lose 2 offensive linemen, that's going to hurt you. But we're not going to make any excuses. They got after us.
From a sheer blocking and tackling standpoint, where do you feel like your guys' level of execution was, and also at some point maybe in that second half your level of belief on offense?
I don't want to start. I don't want to start psychoanalyzing it on my end. I think I can only make mistakes if I do that. But to your point, at halftime we came, we just kept saying tackling. When they ran shallow crosses versus man, and we were missing the tackles. Even the long touchdown run has to get tackled. You have to tackle those plays. We have the players to do it. We have to make those plays, and so. But it wasn't any one play. It was just. John had 5 D linemen in there, and you just need to make a play, make a negative play. We just were never able to do it. And then offensively, I don't want to make it anything more. At least on today. I'll talk to you guys on Monday, obviously. But for me, it was anything more than just blocking and catching and making a play. We got the ball down the red zone twice, and we don't score. And early in the game, those are plays. You'd like to be at 14-3 in that, or 14-7 in that first half. So. I just think it was they were just absolutely the better team tonight, and we never took advantage of anything the whole night.
What did you see from your kids focus tonight?
I'm sorry.
What was the explanation that you got on Pritchett's targeting?
He knocked him down. When he's down, you can't hit him, so that was the 15-yard part of it, which is a correct call. And then they said that he led with his helmet and hit him in the helmet, so that therefore is targeting. So I didn't get much else than that.
What did you see from your kids' focus tonight? Coming into the game, how did you feel about their attention to what was in front of them, and then obviously as the game went on too?
Yeah, just like I just said on offense. I can't say it was. I said there was missed assignments, there was mental errors. Just really disappointing. I think on all of our end. On defense, it just felt like we just like penalties and things like that. I thought we had a really good week of practice. We traveled really well. There's nothing that led me to think that this was going to be like this. But I don't want to minimize that on their end. I think they played really well. They had a good plan. They just ran the football, and part of stopping the run, as it accumulated throughout the game was also not just going 3 and out. You got to move the ball on offense. You got to score points. You got to make them be, not just one-dimensional. And we just never really quite put them under any duress. We never scored any points on offense. So we just didn't play a complete game. And special teams wise, until that very last punt return, there was really never a big play. I'd hate to take anything away from Minnesota in terms of focus. I just think that they were the more physical team as the game wore on tonight. We didn't make any plays to change that.
What was Rocco's exact injury, and was Vincent Shavers did he have something too?
Yeah, V9, V9 had surgery on his thumb on Tuesday, and was cleared to play, was planning on playing, and just as he started, like, just too painful. So, just wasn't able to play. Appreciate him for trying to play. Just wasn't able to go. And then Rocco, all they said to me was he came off the field and they just said he broke his hand, broke his finger, and it sounded like it was even more serious than that. Like, I don't want to say everything without knowing, but they had to take him to the hospital immediately. So obviously those were two really good players for us.
Coach, what that long drive they had, that 98 yard, how much of a spirit backbreaker is that?
I think they all are. At some point you're hoping, you believe in our guys. You're hoping someone, knocks a ball out, makes a big tackle, sack, fumble, something, and we could get off the field. There were times, I said the first half we looked really crisp on defense, in terms of stopping the run early, but they were bleeding it for 4 and 5 yards. I think it just took a toll on us after a while, and credit to them. There's not really much else I can say other than that. Just credit to them.
You guys took a defensive timeout in the middle of that drive, and then kind of got some of the momentum back until that fourth down play. How key was that sequence right there in the whole game?
Yeah, they hadn't scored yet. So I think they still. I can't remember the exact timing of it, but it was still like a 1-score game, right? So, yeah. So, John said, "Hey guys, roll pass. Back's gonna be in the flat." Back, they ran a pick route to the guy in the flat. Javen got off the top, played it. We're gonna sack the quarterback and defensive holding, right? So. We helped them with a lot of penalties today, to flip the field. At that point, we're kind of starting to have some issues with some bodies, defensively. Some guys were getting banged up, so, we kind of had to go to a 4-down front, took a timeout. And that's the play, you're hoping you make that 4th and 1 stop, and that's the play that kind of ignites you. We don't really have that igniting play in the game.
Are you surprised you weren't able to run the ball more effectively against them?
Well, in the middle of the third quarter, I keep track of this, the running back. We're averaging like 4.5 yards a carry. But the sacks were just such stress. You're in third and 2, and it's a sack, and Dylan just got beat up, and there was just a lot of like free runners, a lot of guys. Him getting Emmett. I thought Emmett was really good again tonight. Just getting hit in the backfield, a lot of. They did a lot of things. I came in I knew they were going to blitz us. I said, hey, they're going to blitz you, they're going to pressure you. And, we had some RPOs built in to try to beat it, some checks try to beat it. We never really beat it. And so I'll have to watch the tape a little bit more. But, for being honest, it was kind of like that everywhere, especially in the second half tonight. Like, there's nothing materialized in the second half. And that was disappointing.
One more, Coach, if there is.
Do you think that, is Rocco going to have to stay here tonight? Is he going to be?
I have no idea. I literally went in the locker room and came in here, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure honestly what the prognosis is.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.